I'm back! Hi everyone, my name is Deborah and this is my channel Stitch the Stash. Today is Sunday, March 8th, 2020. We are in the time change zone right now. We've lost an hour of sleep and I am not quite feeling that loss yet, but I have a feeling I'll feel it tomorrow morning when that alarm goes off and I have to get ready for work. Hi everybody, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your first time checking me out, I hope you enjoy. I know I had a bump of subscribers over the past few months, so welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a channel all about cross stitch, and occasionally I might throw in at the end knitting, quilting, and book reviews, so I hope you enjoy. So yes, I am back with you today for an update video. I did post two videos in January. One was my whip parade and the other was my 2020 plans video. I have not been back with an update video since early November. And it is what it is. I am back with you today. I can tell you that I have been working on a lot of the same projects since November. I have finishes, so hopefully it won't be too overwhelming, but I have a lot to share with you today. I have FFOs, I have finishes, I have whips, and I have new starts. And if I have time, I will go over my retail therapy. I don't want this video to go too terribly long since it has been a while, but I'm hoping I can get everything in. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk FOs, fully finished objects. What do I have to share with you today? The first one I'm going to share with you, I do not have in my possession anymore. It was a gift for a dear close work friend. I do have pictures to insert, so I'll insert them here. What I finished was the Tartan ABC letter K that I found in the I think World Cross Stitcher magazine. I can't remember which issue, but I finished that on a 32 count Lugana in opalescent white. And as you can see, I made it into a pillow ornament, and I did use Vanna Pfeiffer's, the Twisted Stitcher. I used her pillow ornament tutorial, and I'm telling you, I love it. It turned out super cute. I just used the backing fabric of some red fat quarter that I found in Michael's. The ribbon is from my stash. I've had that probably since the early 2000s. And then I just attached the red button, which again, I found a pack of different size red buttons in Michael's and just used that to attach it. And I'm super thrilled with how it turned out. This is my very first fully finished object that is not in a frame, so I am tickled pink, and the recipient loved it, and I knew she would appreciate it. She is definitely knit-worthy, stitch-worthy, craft-worthy in gifts, and she absolutely loved it. All right, so my second finished object is Alice's Mad Plants, and I finished her trivet style. As you know, this is a pattern by Michelle Bendy Stitchy. I stitched this on a 36 count linen by Luminous Fiber Arts, and I knew that I wanted to do a trivet finish. However, here, living in New York City, it's very hard to find trivets. So this trivet was gifted to me from Michelle, and I love it. It fits in here perfectly. I did put some Lady Dot Creates trim, or pom-pom trim around the edges, and I believe the color is Chianti. And when I looked at it on screen, the Chianti, it looked very purpley red, but when I got it in person, it matches the red in this perfectly. So I am thrilled to have this done, and Michelle, thank you so much for the trivet. I love it. I have it. I did put some felt on the back, and as you can see, there's my hot glue, which, you know, hot glue doesn't stick very well to cast iron, and I had the brilliant idea of attaching magnets. So this is in there right now, but if it pops out, because when you touch it, it tends to pop, I will add magnets to hold it in there instead. So this will go hang on my wall. My next FO is Share Laughter, which is by My Big Toe Designs. This pattern and fabric was gifted to me for my birthday from Climbing Stitcher, and I decided I wanted to go ahead and attempt to put it in one of these, I can't remember who the frames are by, but when you pop out the back, it has an embroidery hoop, and you just put your stitching in the hoop and tighten it and put it in. I'm a perfectionist, and I don't think this is in there exactly centered, but this is the closest I could get it. And so right now it's just sitting in there, and I just tightened the hoop, mushed up the fabric, and put it in until I decide if I need to pull it out and straighten it. But I am super excited to actually have this done. I did get this frame from a seller on Etsy who makes them all different sizes. I will link their shop below. I just cannot remember the name of the shop at this moment. But this is FO number 3. And my last FO is Sohpia. I finally framed her. I did get the frame from AmericanFrames.com. I actually, you know, in January, I picked 3 of my finished pieces that I wanted to frame, and this is the one I chose for this pattern. It's a gorgeous brown frame. I love it, and I'm super excited to have Sohpia framed and hanging on my wall. It's time for finishes. Oh my goodness, I have a handful of finishes to share with you. And the first one up is the letter E. This is from the Tartan ABC pattern alphabet that I had shown you for the K finish. This is E. This is on 32 count Lugana opalescent fabric, called for DMC threads, and there is some gold metallic thread that does on the stitching on the outside. And as you can see, I attempted to FFO this. And this was my trial run piece before I FFO'd the letter K into an ornament. And I had some issues. I'm using a new sewing machine, as my Bernina needs to be serviced. So, you know, when you get a new machine, there's a learning curve. And so I thought, let me try on this one, because this one is going to be an ornament for my husband. So it was my trial run, and I am going to actually pick out all the seams and bring my stitching in closer, because on the letter K, I love how close the border is to the edge. This one has not been completely finished, and I'll finish it just like the letter K. But I finished this on January 4th, and it will become a fully finished object before Christmas this year. So that's my first finish. My second finish is Aussie Friends. This was, this is a freebie pattern from Sassy Jack's Stitchery. They put it out to help for when we were having the Australian wildfires. They said anyone who stitches this and posts it either to their Facebook group or Instagram and tags them or emails it to them, that they will make a donation to help fight the wildfires. And so I finished this one on January 12th, and it is on a 28 count Lugana. It is Fabrics by Stephanie in the color Twixt and Tween. And some of the colors are call for DMC, and others I just pulled from my stash. They're either Color and Cotton or Victorian Motto. So I just pulled what I had, what I liked on this fabric, and went to town. This stitched up super quick, and I love how it turned out. I do not know how I will fully finish it yet. It lends itself to having some sort of circular finish, but I don't know. We'll decide when we get there. But yes, love it. Super happy to have this one done. And my next finish is Santa Claus. This is by Lizzie Kate, and it is in her pattern called Tiny Tidings 7. I absolutely love this. I started this in December of 2018 when I was planning on having like 12 new starts, and this was the only one I managed. I finished this on February 16th. I am participating in WhipGo. It is a Facebook group that Jessie Marie has put together. So it's just like bingo, but you put whatever projects and goals that you want on each square, and then every month Jessie pulls 2 numbers, and your goal is to finish your goal is to achieve whatever you assign to it. And this was assigned as a finish, and I love it. I have used all the call for colors except for the red, the green, and the blue. I didn't have those DMCs handy, so I just chose new ones that I liked, and I did. That is silver Krennic there, and this was the first time I've stitched with Krennic that I did not hate it. So I am super thrilled to have this done. Again, I do not know how I'm going to fully finish it at this time. It might become a pillow or a flat fold. I think it's too big to be an ornament on the tree. So we will see. All right, finish number 4 is Arranging Tools by Ink Circles. And I finished this on February 21st. The fabric is a 32 count linen by Weeks Dye Works in the color Baby's Breath. I am super thrilled to finally have this done. As you know, the last time I showed it in an update video, I had said that this was supposed to be a Christmas present from the Christmas this just passed, and I did not have it done in time. And it's okay, it will be a gift this year. But for a pattern that looks so simple, I kept making so many mistakes and had to frog so many times that this went into timeout quite a few times. But again, early February, I decided, once I finished Santa Claus, I wanted to finish more things, and this was the next one I had closest to a finish. And so it is done, and I am thrilled. This is on the old Weeks Dye Works flimsy linen. It's not my favorite, but I managed. And I actually do have the other half of this fabric to stitch this again because I was going to stitch it and it was going to be 2 gifts. So we will see if and when I decide to stitch this again. Finish number 5 is, it is Tired Trio by Plum Street Samplers. I am finished and I love every single thing about this piece. I finished this on February 23rd. Again, I was on a finishing kick. This one was next to being done. So I said, yep, I spent a couple of days stitching on it, and it is finished. And I'm telling you, those little faces are 1 over 1, and I thought they were going to give me a heart attack. And this is on 36 count linen, so, and I've never done 1 over 1 on 36 count. I've done it on 28, but not on 36. So what I did is I ended up switching to a size 28 needle, and once I did that, it was much easier to do the 1 over 1 on these little faces, and I sat down one night and I just did 1, 2, 3. I was not going to go to bed until those faces were done because I just had that momentum going. And as you know from my previous videos, I did substitute some of the colors of those flowers. The centers are called for. The darker pink is Strawberry Parfait by Classic Colorworks, and the lighter pink is a color in cotton. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. And then the centers, the little teeny tiny centers of these little flower buds is DMC 23. And I even got my initials and the finish year on it. And I'm planning on finishing this into the whole series. All the ones that I stitch will become little pillows. So for right now, I'm not going to worry about that because this is the first one I have done. I want to get a few more done before I actually FFO them into pillows so I can just do them all at the same time. But I love it. Isn't this adorable? Love, love, love. So happy it's done. And my last finish is S'mores. It's a Mill Hill kit, and I believe it's in part of their Autumn Harvest series. And this is my very first Mill Hill kit that I ever completed, ever started, ever completed. And the remains of the kit were passed on to me from Caitlin, who is Big Apple Stitching here on FlossTube. And I just had to go ahead and purchase another one of these little heart charms. But and I went ahead and I purchased some extra beads just to make sure I had enough. And I love it. I stitched this bad boy in a week, and I am addicted now. I want to stitch all the little Mill Hill kits, and I'm not sure how I'm going to fully finish this, whether it's going to be an ornament or a magnet. So until I decide, I am not going to trim it down. I just want to protect the edges of it until I decide what I want to do. But I will definitely put felt on the back to cover the backing of the stitches. But I absolutely love it. So thank you, Caitlin, for passing this on to me. I do have someone else already in line for it, so I hope they enjoy stitching it as much as I did. So now it's time for my whips, my works in progress. What have I been stitching for the past 4 months? Well, the first one is Sunny Sunflower by Cherished Stitches. I did purchase this pattern from Keepsakes when I went to StitchCon last year. This is my memory piece. I absolutely love it. This is where it was at the last time you saw it. As you can see, there's not a huge start on that. I did work on it a few times during the November and December, if I could find my words. And yeah, but look at it now. Oh my goodness, look at how gorgeous this is. The fabric is a 32 count R&R linen in the color Creek Bed Brown. I love it. I am using silks on this. It's a combination of MPIs, Glorianas, and there's a Gloriana in there. This color right here is a Gloriana, and I even believe there's a Classic Colorworks silk in here too. But it's a full conversion that the lovely volunteer, I can never remember her name. I'm so sorry. She helped me. I picked out this Gloriana, and then she helped me pick out the rest of the colors. But this is on my Whip Go board, and this was called in January. And as you can see, the goal was to finish it. I have not finished it, but I'm still working on it. I have to complete this sunflower, finish the one over here, and then there are initials in the year down here. There's some wording here, and then this border that's at the top gets repeated at the bottom, and there is some fill-in in this border, which is a little fiddly, but it's okay. I am getting there. I love it, and it will be a drum finish when I'm done. The model in Keepsakes was a drum finish, and that's what I want, so I need to decide when I'm finished, who I'm going to send it to, what finisher I'm going to send it to. So I might try to see if Lenny at Keepsakes can finish this into a drum for me. Absolutely love it. Hopefully the next time you see it, it will be a finish. My next whip is Santa Train Stocking by Stony Creek. I started this December of 2018. It's something that I'm supposed to be stitching on every Sunday for Stocking Sunday, the Stocking Sunday Sal or Sunday Stocking Sal. I can't remember the hashtag for it that I had started with Julie from Kansas City Girl in Colorado World. And one of my goals this year was to stitch on it every Sunday, and I've done it once. So here's where I was at the last time you saw it. I am stitching it on a, let's see, a 28 count Lugana in white. And this is where it's at. Can you see the change? Can you see the difference? Yeah, huge amount of progress, right? Oh my goodness, no. I sat down the first Sunday of January to stitch on this, and I did a little more filling in here because it's like color change galore. And then I came over here and I stitched this. I think I had some of this already in, and then when I started coming down here, I realized that there was a mistake somewhere in here, so I had to rip all of these stitches out and put them all back in, which I think I said I was going to do 30 minutes every Sunday on this, and I sat on this for like a couple of hours. I was not happy, so after I put those stitches back in, I put this back into timeout, and it has not come out since. But I need to start working on it again because this is on my whip go board, and it has not been called yet. But I want it finished in December, so it needs to be finished by the end of this year. And I think if I just spend at least 30 minutes every Sunday like I said I was going to, I can get some good progress on this, or at least some consistent progress on this. So we'll see. And my next whip is Panda by Magic Needle, which came as a kit with white Aida and all the threads. And I switched out the fabrics, but I am using the threads. And I'm stitching it in this orientation. Absolutely love it. This is where it was at the last time you saw it. I am stitching it on a 28 count Lugana. It's a Fabrics by Stephanie in the color Tropical. And this is where I am at with it. As you can see, I have gotten a lot of progress done on it since you last seen it. I have filled in flowers. I have done flowers over here. I am almost done with this adorable face. It's so cute. This was my lunchtime stitching through the month of January. And so it gets about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, for at least 4 days a week in January. And oh my gosh, it's so cute. I want this done this year. I did put it on my whip go board for a finish, and it's just love it, love it, love it, love it. So once I get a couple more things knocked out, this might go back to my lunchtime stitching so I can focus on it a little bit more. But it's just so cute. My next whip is December. It's by Little House Needleworks, and it came in their thread packs. When you purchase these patterns, the threads come with it. So this is where it was at the last time you saw it, and I am stitching it on a 28 count Lugana in the color Mushroom, and this is where I'm at with it. I brought this back out to play a couple of weekends ago. I went out to Needleworkers Delight, and this is one of the projects I brought with me, and as you can see, I got a lot of progress on it. I think that day I managed to get close to 300 stitches put in, and now as you can see, and then I kept working on it. Could not put it down. So then I have everything done on the house except I need to fill in these window panes, and I need to fill in this little bit up here with a darker color. I need to finish the tree, and then I have to put in this white border all the way around. It looks like I have, oh, it's a piece of cut thread. And then I had to put the little leaf sprigs over here. But yep, this will be done hopefully sooner rather than later. I say that about a lot of things, but it seems like when I put my mind to finishing things lately, I'm getting them done. And there's really no reason why this one cannot be done. It just needs, you know, a couple more weekends worth of work. And so we'll see. And my last whip is Spring by the Cricut Collection. I did put this on my January WIPCO board, and this was called in January. I have not touched it until last weekend, last Sunday. I decided that, hey, I want to stitch on something little, I don't want to say different. Well, maybe different because there is something I've been stitching on that has a deadline on it, so I wanted to change things up. So I thought, like, hey, I want this done this year, so let's pull this out. This is where it was at the last time you saw it. As you can see, I have the S, and it's partially filled in, but that's it. I am stitching it on 32 count Joblin by Fiberlicious Yummy Fabrics. It's Fiberlicious, and it is in the color Dusty Rose. And this is where I'm at with it. As you can see, well, here, let me fold this just a little bit better. As you can see, I finished filling in that S, and then I put in a couple of the little flowers here, and then I started on the P. I only spent one afternoon on this, probably, you know, two hours, maybe a little bit more than that. But I love this. And you know what's interesting is this blue, this bluey purple, I absolutely love it. And guess what? This is the only place it appears in the whole pattern. Yep, those handful of stitches is only that color in the pattern. That's okay. It is what it is. I don't know when I'll pull this out again, but I'm looking forward to getting more progress done on it. All right, new starts. What have I started since January 1st? Well, the first one is housed in, it's actually a Christmas present, and I'm going to show you all my Stitchy Christmas gifts that I received. But since I have this one here, let me show it to you now. This is a sleeve that my sister made for me out of this gorgeous fabric that I fell in love with. She had found it in Joann's. I think she got the last bit of it, and she gave some to her daughter to make clothes for her own daughter. And so I think she made a couple of project bags for herself and my mom, and then I told her I wanted a sleeve, and I absolutely love it. And she used this gorgeous little, I think it's a batik fabric inside. Absolutely love it. But this houses my January 1st New Year's Day start, and I thought it was appropriate because both my sister and I started it together. And so what is that project? It is Kind and True by With My Needle. Absolutely love this. I had won this pattern in an auction last year that Michelle Bendy Stitchy had put up. I think it was like 3 or 4 of her patterns, and I loved it for this one specifically. And then my sister also won it in one of her auctions, Michelle's auctions last year too. So I said, hey, do you want to start it on New Year's Day together? And she said yes. So love it, love it, love it. And here is my start. This is a 1-day start. The fabric is a 36 count lakeside linen in the color Vintage Buttercream. And oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. This is the first time I've stitched on lakeside, and I understand why everyone loves it. It's like stitching through butter. And I am using the called for silks, and I'm hoping I've decided that I would like to stitch on this on the 1st of every month. I didn't for February or March, but going forward, the 1st of every month, it will get at least a few stitches put into it. So we'll see where we're at the end of the year with this, but super happy to finally have this gorgeous sampler started. My next new start was my January high tea start. And for those of you who do not know what the high tea starts are, the last Sunday of every month you have a brand new start. And this is the one that myself and Climbing Stitcher started together. It is the Blue Flower by... excuse me, it is the Sleeping Bee by the Blue Flower. You can tell I'm a little rusty, y'all. I'll get the hang of this again. When we saw that this was going to be released in December, because originally we were going to start the Quilting Bee, and then we saw that this was going to be released in December, and we're like, yeah, we need to start this one first. And, it is, beautiful. And I am stitching it on a 36 count linen, and it is actually a graham cracker fabrics in the color graham cracker. And if you've never heard of that fabric, you can get it on the Kitten Stitcher's website, and I believe her son started dyeing fabric, and so I snagged myself up a couple of different colors, and this is the one that I chose to stitch the Sleeping Bee on it. I am using all the called for colors, and I started in the center on this one because it's a round pattern. I didn't want to have to count in from the edge. I was afraid of making a mistake and then not giving myself enough border for finishing. But yeah, that is a couple hours worth of work right there. And I love it, and I need to get back to it. It probably, I can dream and say it will be finished by the end of this year. We'll see. I have a lot of things slated for finishing, and this one probably won't make it unless I retire early and have all this time on my hands. But that's not going to happen anytime soon, I don't think. All right, so yeah, love this one. All right, so then my next new start is all because of Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher. In one of her videos, she had talked about wanting to have a leap day start, something she would start and then she would have 4 years to finish it by the next leap year. And I had commented on that video saying, oh, that's a great idea. I think I'll start something too. My intentions was to start something small because I have enough big projects going that I needed some smaller things. And then in her next video, she talks about, hey, let's make it a long dog start. So it's the hashtag is long dog leap day Sal. And I'm like, oh, poop. Because I have a long dog in my stash that I purchased last year that I fell in love with. And I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity to start it. I have the 4-year deadline to finish it. Perfect. What's another great big project on my whip list, right? No big deal. So what was it that I started? It is Mots de More. And as you can see, it's 211 by 233. Yeah. Yep. And look, you know, when I pot this, I didn't realize there was a lot of back stitching in it. So I'm just going to handle this one motif at a time, right? And I am stitching it on a 36 count linen by Fiberlicious, and the color is Dusty Rose. That's right. I'm doing spring on Dusty Rose and a Joblin, and then I'm doing the long dog on a linen Dusty Rose. And I'm going to show you the difference in colors because this one is pink with purple modeling. Absolutely love it. Okay, but first let's talk about the stitching. This is 1 day's worth of stitching. As you can see, I called it quits in the middle of working on a thread. I don't know why I did that. It's probably, I think it was time to go to bed or something. But I love it. The color I chose to stitch it in is a DMC 23. Now, that is one of their newer colors. It is, they call it a purple, but to my eye, it is a very pale, pale pink. And here it probably looks more on a white, but there is a hint of color in it. I love it. When I went to Needleworks, I had brought this with me just to look at some other DMCs to see if I wanted to put a different color on it, but no, I kept coming back to this one. So yep, I bought a handful. I don't know how many I'll need. I am doing one strand over 2 on this because it is 36 count. I do not mind the coverage. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And my goal, plan, whatever you want to call it, is to pull this out on the 29th of every month and put a few stitches in it and see where we're at the end of the year. It'll be interesting to see, getting 1 day's worth of love on it every month. Yep. Okay, so like I said, this is Fiberlicious 36 count linen in Dusty Rose. Spring is on 32 count Joblin in Dusty Rose, and here is the color difference. Yep. As you can see, the Joblin, when you open it up, there is the barest of modeling on it. But there's no hint of pinks. It's just this gorgeous purple. And then this. And when you look at it on their website, this is what you see. So just so you know, everybody already knows this, color fabrics types do dye differently. But when I pulled this one out the other day to work on, I'm like, Dusty Rose, Dusty Rose. No, this is supposed to be a pink, but no, I love them both. But that's what you're gonna get if you order between a Joblin and a linen from them. I don't mind it. I'm not hating it. They complement each other, that's for sure. But yeah, so yes, this was my leap day start. All right, I did have one more new start, and that is for the retreat that I'm going to on March 26th. I believe in my plans video, I mentioned I'm going to several retreats this year, and this one is the Fancy Works retreat in Indiana. I'm super excited to be going. Kathy from Hands On Designs is one of the teachers, and then we have Janice Note from Noteworthy Needle is the other teacher, and we received our pre-stitching probably the end of January, early February, and I originally thought it was just going to be for the Hands On Design. I didn't realize we were going to have 2 group pre-stitching projects, and it's quite a bit of stitching. With working full-time, it's quite a bit of stitching. So I'm not showing it to you because they haven't told us we could. Kathy did give a little preview of the finished piece on her Instagram. The theme is bees. It's absolutely adorable. I will show it to you when I come back from the retreat. I'll be gone from the 26th through the 31st. So I've been busy working on that. Yeah, so when I said my stitching time is preoccupied, it's because I'm trying to at least get the hands-on design pre-stitching done. I haven't touched the Noteworthy Needle one. They're both adorable. I don't think I'm going to get to both of them. If I do, it's just going to be starting the Noteworthy Needle. I won't have it finished in time to put together in class. But I'm super excited about that. And again, when I come back from the retreat, I'll share everything with you. Okay? So now that we're done with all this stitching, I'm going to go ahead and move on to what I received for Christmas that's Stitchy related. And I want to go ahead and say thank you to every single person who sent me a Christmas card or a little mini gift. I absolutely loved every single one, and I love sending cards and I love receiving them. So thank you very, very much. All right, so what did I receive for Christmas? Well, let's start with what my mother sent me. And hers contained multiple items. And she sent me this needle minder. It says Merry Christmas. It's from Magnolia Baby Creates. Oh, absolutely love it. And I also knit, so she sent me this cute little black kitty knitting. Oh my goodness, and they came from Clever Clove. Absolutely love this pin. And she also sent me this mug rug. I believe it's from Diddly Daddle Designs. I know she does mug rugs in addition to her bags. But yes, love the poofy black kitten. I have a project bag from Diddly Daddle Designs with this pattern. Love it. And I do not drink coffee. I drink tea and hot chocolate, so that's when this will be used. But I also told my husband that he's not allowed to use it when he drinks his coffee in the morning because sometimes he's messy and he doesn't realize it. He's like, okay, love it. And then she sent me this Santa Christmas project bag. Absolutely love it. It is from Diddly Daddle Designs. It has this nice little red and white polka inside. Ah, love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so then that's not all that she sent me. She did a lot of stitching for Christmas presents for individuals in our family. And occasionally I would receive updates via text of what she was working on. And I didn't realize that I was going to receive one too. And this one is perfect for me. Isn't it adorable? I love it. I don't have to stitch this for myself now. I love that she changed up to an over-dyed thread. It's so cute. And I have it hanging on my gallery wall above my my scrapbooking desk. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Mom. Also, my father did the framing. The frame came from American Frames. My mother had texted me wanting to know how I framed the present that I gave them. So I referred them to Vonna Pfeiffer's lacing tutorial. However, I can't find it online anymore. So I sent them to the blog with the written instructions. And my dad laced all of these, at least, I think he did at least 5 projects. My mother had sent me a cute, adorable picture of him lacing. I'm like, okay, well, he could become a professional finisher now. He did a great job. So, yeah, absolutely love it. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. All right, so then you saw the this for my sister. She did send me a skein of yarn that was new to me to knit up a fabulous pair of socks with. She sent this with it. It's she had stitched this and finished it and asked me if I wanted to stitch it. It is Spell of the Moon by Blackbird Designs, and she sent me the leftover fabric. This is what she stitched on. It is the Called For Weeks. We both hate it. I'm looking forward to trying their Zweigart base. I'm just waiting for them to put all of their colors on the Zweigart base because I absolutely love their color fabrics. But until that happens, yeah, I don't know. And then she used this trim to finish her, so she sent me her leftover trim. So yeah, I need to stitch this up and get this pattern back to her. So thank you, sis. Okay, so my husband gave me a cross-stitch pattern for Christmas. What I tend to do for him is I put things on a wish list and then I email him different links, different wish lists, and let him choose what he would like to get for me. And I gave him a link to a 1, 2, 3 stitch wish list and some patterns from Stony Creek that 1, 2, 3 didn't have. And I told him, I said, just choose something, whatever. And this is what he chose for me. It is Carolyn Manning Designs, and it's called Blossom. I went to Needleworkers Delight back in November before Thanksgiving with Caitlin, and she bought this pattern and kitted it up. It's all DMC. She found fabric, the DMC threads. I said it was perfect. And I loved it, but I couldn't find another copy of the pattern in the store. I looked hard, but that's okay. I found other stuff that I wanted to go home with. And so I put this on my Christmas wish list, and out of all the patterns that my husband could choose, he chose this one. So it was meant to be. super excited. I do have the DMC here for it, and it comes with the little crochet doilies and buttons. I did get some fabric when I was at Needleworks in February. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but I'll show it to you. Retail therapy. I'm going to start off with what I haven't shown you from the end of 2019, the last couple months of 2019, because there are some good things in here. I was originally going to leave it out, but I was like, no, let's just do it. All right, so the first thing I purchased, and it has a project in it because I was using it. This is actually from the 805 Stitcher. She has started a FlossTube channel. She is the 805 Stitcher on FlossTube on Instagram, and she has an Etsy shop where she sells her bags. The 805 Stitcher, she had put this up on IG saying that she had these in her shop. I ran over and snatched one up because who does not love Santa at a luau with his reindeer? Oh my goodness, super. Oh, and he's surfing down here. Super adorable. It is a clear fronted project bag. Yeah, this is from my Tartan ABC that's in there. I'm like, oh, and look what's in here too. This is from finishing the ornament. So anyway, and then she also included this adorable reindeer needle minder, 805 Stitcher. Absolutely love her. She's stitching some great projects, including her nemesis. She's doing a birth sampler for, I don't know if it's a friend or whatever, but that's her nemesis project, and I love it. She's going to finish it, and then she'll be done with it, and she'll have to find another one. But anyway, 805 Stitcher, Tara. Absolutely love it. Her bag is very well made. I would highly recommend shopping from her, and she has like a little charm. Super cute. But yep, couldn't pass up Santa. All right. So then Michelle Bendy had done a Bags Plus live sale. I think it was in November. I don't remember. I did not watch it. But she had any bags that don't sell, she puts up on her D-stash, and I had said me please on this bag. But I guess it was already sold. So Corinna said that she could make another one. So I went ahead and got this 90 pocket Floss Buddy. It's from Alice in Wonderland. Absolutely love it. It has the pockets inside, the little hook in here. Absolutely love it. Yep. So received that. And then I had purchased this from Diddly Daddle Designs. This is one of her mini project bags. Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher, had mentioned this in one of her FlossTube videos and says she loves the smaller bags, especially because she stitches in hand. And when this went up in the shop, I said, yes, me please. I took it, and it's super cute because, you know what, I have a bunch of big ones, but yep, nothing wrong with having a small one. Sorry, there was something in there. I had to see what that was. All right, so the last project bag that I have is this. This was a limited edition kit. You can't get it anymore. This came from Delicious Threads, and absolutely love it. It has inside this gorgeous needle minder that she made. It came with Michelle Bendy Snowbird pattern. Yes, they go together. These bags were made to go with this pattern. And then it came with all of the DMC to stitch said pattern, and it has the etoile in here. And it also comes with this thread keep. And I don't know if it was the end of November, beginning of December, Michelle had put it on IG that there was only one bag left. And I'm like, okay, it was meant to be. I held off. I thought they would go in seconds, and there was one left. And I said, it's meant to be mine. So I bought it. And it is gorgeous. Beautiful. Yep. All right, so the last thing that I purchased is from Kelly, That's So Kelly Co. I got one of her Bitsy Bobs. And, oh, yep, this makes me happy. I couldn't pass it up, so I got one of these. Yep. And I have not used any of these. These items have been sitting in a bag waiting to be shown, so I'm quite proud of myself. All right, so let's move on. What else do I have in here? All right, so like I said, I had, sorry for the shaking, I had placed an order with Kitten Stitcher because I showed you the graham cracker fabric that I'm stitching the sleeping bee on, and I had purchased some other fabric also. So I purchased another 36 count fabric by Graham Cracker Fabrics in Chocolate Mousse. Really, really pretty. This is the Graham Cracker one that I'm stitching on. And then we have Pie Crust. This one I'm not in love with. It's a little too, looks like it got run over by a dirty chair wheel to me. It's not too much of my style, but some of the fabric, it's only that little bit right there that this is on, so I can use the rest of this fabric. And these are all 36 count fabrics because 36 count is my new jam. So yeah, all right. And then I picked up, I believe this is a Dames of the Needle. It is a 36 count and it is called the color Dried Prom Rose. Ugh, I love this. Oh yeah. I have some fall autumnal patterns that could go on this. Even some summer patterns could go on this. Yep, I love it. So that's the fabric I got from Kitten Stitcher. But then I also got something else from her because I had seen this pattern and I wanted it, and it was in this book. It is Tending the Garden by Blackbird Designs, and I wanted it for this pattern right here. And isn't it gorgeous? I believe Leslie Hurley just finished this not too long ago, and it's stunning. And yep, so Blackbird, I have to have it. The rest is like, there's some punch needle and quilts in here, but I wanted it for the cross stitch pattern, so I will stitch that one day. All right, and then what else did I got a couple other items from Kitten Stitcher. I had gotten Winter Valentine. It was the Blue Flowers winter release pattern. And then I purchased Souvenirs of Heart, which is with I Needle and Thread, Autumn in Amona, and Home for Christmas. I couldn't read it. Home for Christmas. Super, super cute. And these are all stitched over one. So I may do that on 28 count, or I might just stitch the full stitch and not do it over one. We'll see. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. All right, so that's everything from the Kitten Stitcher. I got this Autumn Alphabet from Willow Hill Samplings. Kellyanne on FlossTube had shown this. I fell in love with it. I went to Willow Hill Samplings Etsy shop and purchased this. Absolutely love it. Those blue pumpkins with that black kitty. Yes, please. I had purchased this from Lindy Stitches. It's the Rooftop Cocoa Shop. Absolutely cute. There was a little bit of a stitch along in December with this. I never started it, but it's small. It can be done for this year if I want to start something small. And then I had gotten Stitching Mommy's Temperature Tree. She does a lot of different, every year she does a different temperature. She's done temperature flowers. She did temperature balloons. I believe she did a temperature quilt, and then she did a temperature tree, and I fell in love with this one. And I wanted to do it for this year's temperatures, but of course, I haven't started it yet. But doesn't mean I can't. I can just go to AccuWeather.com and find the historic temperatures. But yeah, we'll see. I may just do it for next year. Who knows? All right, then I went ahead and I got the latest two hands-on designs in the Chock full series. patterns. I had pre-ordered the whole series when it first came out, so I got Merry Chockful. Love it. And then I love this one. It is Snowy Chockful. Love, 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 love. I cannot wait for the flower one from, I believe it's like 4th of July related. Can't wait for that one. That's my next favorite one. All right, and then I had a order from, these were pre-orders from Nancy from Needle Case Goodies. I got Little House Needleworks Quilt Shop. It was the next one in the Hometown Holiday series. From Plum Street Samplers, I got the Winter Salt boxes. Love, 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 love. I will stitch them as a Polaroid. I know some people like, no. I love it as a Polaroid. Of course, I got the Rack Stack. Love it. And then I got Home for Christmas. Love it. I believe Leslie Hurley had stitched this. I believe it was like a club piece, and that's how she got it, and then it was released to everybody this past December. And finally, I got a Country Winter, which again, I think Leslie was stitching this. It might have been Rach from Rah Rah Realms on FlossTube. Can't remember. Absolutely love them. So those are all the patterns I purchased last year. So let's move on to 2020 retail therapy. Oops. I fibbed. I have a little bit more from 2019. The first thing is I won this in a Michelle Bendy charity auction. It is the Michael Powell Tuscan Gardens 1. It is the full kit. It has the fabric. It has a teeny tiny start on it already. But I fell in love with this because it reminds me of when my husband and I did our 2 different backpacking trips in Europe, and we fell in love with Italy. So I purchased that for charity from her. And then, like I said before, Caitlin, Big Apple Stitching, and I went to Needleworkers Delight right before Thanksgiving, so I picked up a few items that day. The first item is this wonderful pink 11 by 11 grime guard. I have two 11 by 11 Q snaps, so I wanted another grime guard. So yeah, got that. And I picked up some fabric. The first fabric I picked up because I just loved it is a 32 count Belfast linen in the color Blue Fusion, and that is pretty accurate right there. Love it. And then I picked up this 32 count Belfast linen. Is the dots in the brown raw, and I picked this up because there are 2 patterns in one of the dress cross-stitching magazines that are actually Sundays, and Caitlin had stitched these, but I think she used blue fabric, and I decided I wanted to use the brown for mine. So hopefully I have all the threads and everything for that. I just need to start it. And then the final piece of fabric I bought is another 32 count Belfast linen in meadow green, and I bought this for it. It's getting a little washed out, but I bought this for a specific pattern. I keep hitting my computer. Sorry about that. A specific pattern from a book that I don't have out here with me, but I got all the threads. Yeah, I picked up the DMC. Gorgeous, right? And then there's this gorgeous ombre krennic that goes with the pattern. And then I needed some beads. And that's like white and then this beautiful purpley color. So yeah, so this is for a specific project that I haven't started yet, but I will. I'll show it to you when I start it. And then the last thing I purchased from that trip is we also stopped into Joann's because I was like looking for some interfacing so I could do those pillow ornaments, and I went ahead and picked up the Cross Stitch Crazy magazine, right? Because, yep, Cross Stitch Crazy, I was just making sure because wasn't sure if this was the one I had gotten online, but I got it because look at those Margaret Sherry Christmas cutie kitties in the stocking. Yes, please. Super cute. There's a bunch of cute patterns in this one. So that is everything from 2019. So now let's move on to 2018. And I'm going to start with my, as I reach down, the clubs. Because I belong to Under the Sea Fabric Monthly Club, and I belong to Color and Cotton. I get fabrics and threads from Color and Cotton. As I had mentioned, at some point, I discontinued my Victorian Motto Thread Club. I stopped that at the end of November because I had plenty, and it's something that I could always get back into. So let me show you I believe this is a January fabric from Under the Sea. It is, I get a 32 count linen, and this is called Kelpie, and it's more green in person. Yeah, it's more green in person. It's getting washed out. And I thought I had one more, but it's not in my bag. So, okay, so let's move on to Color and Cotton. I have 30, this is from January. I was getting the 32 count Joblin, and this is the color Camelot. It's getting a little blown out, but it's a really beautiful brown neutral. Okay, and then they sent me Lugana for February, and they sent me both the bright and the neutral because I was alternating, and then something happened online and I noticed it went back to what I originally was getting. It's okay. I'll stitch these. So this is Lugana 32 count. This is Bellflower, a little blown out, but it's a really pretty purple. And then this is Stratus. It's a really beautiful gray. It looks blue on the screen, at least it does to me, but it's a gray color. And for March going forward, I am getting 36 count linen, and I'm alternating between neutral and bright, so I'll get one piece a month. So let's go ahead and move on to the threads that I get from Color and Cotton. So these are January threads, and I'm not going to take them out of the plastic just to save time this month, since I have January and February to show you. So this is the neutrals. These are really, really pretty. Love them. These are, I believe, these are the brights. Oh, look at those purples and blues. And then I think these are the all colors. Really, really pretty. So for February, she labeled the packages, so I don't have to guess anymore. And I think that's fantastic. So these are the neutrals. I love this color. Love, love, love. These are the brights. She calls them brights variegated. Really pretty. And these are like purplish pinkies. Yeah. I was thinking that showing up more purple than what it actually is, but it's not. And then these are the all colors. Really, really pretty. Love them. Yeah, I love the Color and Cotton threads. They're beautiful to stitch with. They are beautiful colors, and I don't have any plans to stop getting those because I've been converting a lot more of my own patterns and using more of my Color and Cotton and Victorian mottos. Okay, so let's move on to, there are a bunch of January PDF patterns that I bought because in January, because of the Australian fires, a lot of designers were putting out charity patterns, so I purchased a few of them. And the first one I stitched up was the Aussie Friends. That was a free one. But then Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery did one, and this is with Love. And I'm thinking I have fabric pulled out for it, so I can probably stitch this up in a couple of weekends. It's super cute. Then I got the Fiddlesticks AU one, super cute. I got the Blackberry Rabbit of Linens and Threads did one. There isn't, I only have the pattern to show. There was no cover photo, so I'm going to show it right back here. It's really cute. Koala holding a heart, hope at the bottom. And then Hands Across the Sea did a sampler one, and it was only $10, and I loved it. So I got that one. It is the Jane Marshall 1857. So I will eventually stitch this one up. I just love this at the bottom. I love that band. All right, so that's all the charity patterns I purchased. I did also get the needle minder that Caterpillar Cross Stitch was putting out, and we haven't received those yet, but she sent out an email saying that she was they were coming her way, so hopefully in April I'll have it. No big deal. And then I also donated directly to the koala hospitals because, you know, all the animals. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So then in February, I purchased these 3 patterns from Stitcherovia because Kellyanne, who is Kellyanne on FlossTube, she's also on Instagram, and well, she showed this as she got it framed, and she stitched all 3 of these patterns together, and I said, yes, I love it. So the first one is my Sunshine. The second one is Happy Skies. And the last one is How Much I Love You. I fell in love with this because this is something that I would say to my husband all the time. And I still say it. And I actually had also bought him the little book. So it's got a lot of special meaning and memories attached to it. So, and she was super, super gracious and kind. She took close-up pictures of the border that she created to stitch all 3 of them together. She sent me pictures of everything, and she said that if she had saved the Excel file that had the border, she would have sent it, but she didn't. So I told her it's okay. Her pictures are fantastic, and I'm going to stitch these on all 3 on one piece of fabric going across, just like hers. So thank you, Kellyanne, for sharing that with me. I really, really appreciate it. All right, so let's move on to Needleworkers Delight haul number 2. In February, I want to say February 22nd, Caitlin, Big Apple Stitching, and Jenna from Jenna X Stitches, we took the train out to Needleworkers and spent the day there with many, 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 many people. The New Jersey FlossTube retreat group was meeting, and then just a bunch of other stitchers. There was some Cruel Embroidery group meeting, and then there were tables. The tables were full everywhere, and they put up more tables for more people. We got there at 10:15 thinking, oh, there might be a couple people. The place was packed by the time we got there. We're like, what time did everybody get here? There must have been a line waiting out the door. But anyway, we had so much fun. We just spent the day stitching away and, of course, shopping. So what did I get? Well, first of all, I found another of the Baltimore Bird series. So that's from Summer House Stitchworks. That's what Sohpia is. And I got the new release of, I can't remember, Sakura, that was released, I think, over the summer. But I think I found the old one, which is Corona. I've never seen this before. I love it. I snatched it up. They only had this one. And I think stitching the 3 will be nice, have a nice little trio. And these colors, the pinks, are the same as in the Sakura, so they'll complement Sohpia very, very nicely. I don't know if I'll still do it on the mint green fabric that I did Sohpia on. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when I come to it. All right, so then this is the fabric I picked up to maybe do Blossom on. It's a 32 count Belfast linen in the color Evening Rose. It's getting a little blown out back here. Let me see if it helps a little bit. It's a little darker than this. It's a mauve color, but it's darker. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not. I might. The threads go. The threads are pretty neutral. Caitlin's doing hers on Cottage Rose. Mine's Evening Rose. And then, all right, so I picked up these 2 weeks Dye Works Love because I loved them. I'll use them for something, and I picked up 2 just to make sure I had enough for whatever I stitched them on. And then I picked up these Weeks Dye Works colors. They are for the hands-on design, the Meow block, the kitty block. And while I am doing a lot of conversions of my own, these colors I felt were just too perfect that she chose for the project. So I went ahead and put, I didn't get all of the call force. These are just these bright ones, which I love. I love this one. And this is Robin's Egg, which is in the hands-on design class pre-stitching. Love it. All right, so then I also picked up, Caitlin was picking out some threads for a project that she was converting, and I fell in love with this color when I saw it, and so I picked it up. Mediterranean Sea. It's, yep, really pretty blue. I bought it because I loved it, and then I picked up 3 more Classic Colorworks because I needed them for something. And then I found Long Dog Samplers, and I know I'm not the only one that makes that mistake. Long Dog Samplers Spangled. And I fell in love with this, and I wanted this to be my Leap Day start. But, you know, I was convinced that I needed to stick with Matsuda more because I had that in my stash a lot longer. However, I did pick up fabric, and I got, it's a Silk Weaver, and it's a 38 count linen. She told me that it's a new size count that they are carrying, and it is the color Toffee. It's not gonna, that's, yeah. But this is the fabric I'm going to stitch it on. I love it because I love 36 count because I can use 1 strand of thread. And 40 count, I'm not on board with 40 count yet. So I picked up this 38 count, which I was wearing contacts that day. And I put on my strong reading glasses and I could see the holes. So that means when I sit down to use a magnifier, I will be able to see it no problem. All right. And then, oh please, I dropped something. All right, so then we pulled some of the overdyed threads that they had in stock that goes for spangled off the rack so we could pick out a fabric, and I ended up just purchasing these. So these are colors that are in spangled, and yeah, they're very, very pretty. I think it looks great on this fabric. So yeah, I just need to figure out the rest of my threads, and eventually this will be started. When, I don't know, because I got the other one going, but I love it. All right, so, oh, and then I have some 32 count white Lugana. Okay. Then my final haul retail therapy is this. The S'mores got me super excited. So I have 2 more kits that complement the S'mores. However, these are the spring bouquet ones. This one is triple scoop. Super cute. This one is a root beer float. Yes, please. So however I finish S'mores is how I'll finish these. Then I have Kitty. It's the Jim Shore Kitty. Love it. All right. Now, the final thing I'm going to show you is because of Brenda and Laura from Brenda and the Cereal Starter on FlossTube. I'm having headband issues today. Brenda showed this, and then she showed a finish on that someone did of it on Instagram, and I'm like, I need this in my life. And it is by Lila's Studio, and it's the SL1862 small sampler. This is taken from the larger Susanna Lynch sampler. And you all know, because I did the Stacy Nash Mary Bears sampler, is the little excerpts from that. I love these, the little ones, the excerpts. I cannot speak. Excerpts from the larger samplers, and to me they're more manageable. And they showed this, that someone had done it as a drum finish. So this is going to be a drum finish whenever I stitch it. This is in Gentle Art wools, which I will not stitch it in wools. I'm contemplating the DMC conversion. But this is the last thing I purchased, and this was recent. This was just last week. So also, if you have not been watching Brenda and the Cereal Starter, I watched their latest video because I heard about, they did a little series of in their latest video, they did a little bit of a segment, yes, segment, that's the word I'm looking for. Segment of why have I not started this yet? And also, why have I not finished this yet? Absolutely loved it. I was hooked. I went back to after watching that video, I went to the very beginning and watched their very first episode. I absolutely loved them. I'm not a huge sampler stitcher, but oh my goodness, I find them so entertaining, and I do have some samplers in my stash, and they're a delight, and you should be watching them. So go watch Brenda and the Cereal Starter. All right, everyone, that is all of the stitching. That is all the gifts. That is all of the retail therapy. What are my plans? My plans are to finish my pre-stitching for the Fancy Works retreat. At least finish the hands-on design portion. There are 9 little motifs to do. I've finished 5. And really, you can finish like 1 in like 3 hours. I can finish 1 in like 3 hours. So I have 2 more full weekends. I don't think I'll have a problem getting that done. So I'm going to be working on that. And then I don't know what else. Probably more of the things I've already shown you. I need to work on spring more. I need to work on my March Whip Go pieces, which I don't have them here. One of them is my Fall into Winter by Ship's Manor, and the other one is Birdie House by Lizzie Kate. That is another one that I started in December of 2018, so it only has 1 day's worth of work on it. And I feel like that's the one I'm going to focus on for a finish for March. So that is all I have for plans right now. I'm kind of like just focusing on the class pre-stitching. All right, so that is it. I hope you all have enjoyed. I'm hoping you all get lots of stitchy time in. I know I have been gone, but I am back now. I'm excited. I have missed all of you, and thank you for everyone who has reached out to me saying, hey, I missed your videos. When you're going to do another video? Thank you so much. Life, people. Life happens, and winter was hard for me this year. That's all I'm going to say. Winter was hard, and I'm feeling great now, and I'm stitching more than I have. My stitching died down in December, and then I picked it back up in January, and I've stitched more in the month of February by almost 1,000 stitches more than I did in January, and I haven't missed a day of stitching yet in March, so I'm back. So until next time, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful stitchy time and that you get a lot accomplished, and that now that we have, the clocks have changed here in the US, our days are going to start getting longer, and that means that when we come home from work, it should still be daylight out, which I am so looking forward to. All right, so until next time, guys, happy stitching. Bye.